Welcome to my living room and another video from the Agatebay video production crew. We are here today to talk about Malawi agates, and I will just guide you a little bit through the process of how the rough stones look like, what the cut stones may look like, and then also some special pieces that we have available on the website right now, and also just to give you an idea of how I am grading them into different price qualities as well, so you get a better feeling of what is going on there. So over here we have a batch of rough stones, which I would call the regular rough, which is pretty unsuspecting because you don't see a lot of windows. They're all pretty much closed nodules, and they're just a lot of fun to cut, but you just don't know what you're getting inside. So I sold a lot of rough of this kind of material, for example, to two large wholesalers in the United States, one of them being Highland Park Lapidary and the other one being the gem shop in Cedarburg in Wisconsin. So if you want to order some of the rough to have some cutting fun yourself, then those will probably be your go-to companies within the United States. Here we have a sample of what the already cut stones may look like. These are the stones I would sell very inexpensively, either retail at a price of around $5 per piece to local collectors, or in large quantities for even cheaper prices to other dealers. So they have the chance to increase the value of the stones. These are only cut right now, but by getting them polished you will of course increase the value of the stones. These have not been polished yet, but polishing in Germany is relatively expensive, so I would have to invest another about €5 in cost to get each individual piece of these polished, and then the process of taking the pictures, putting them in the system, editing the pictures, putting them online, and then all the process of putting the work into them would probably cost me another €10 per piece to get them to the collector who actually wants to buy them. So in the end, I feel like I'm saving more money by saving the time of selling them in the state they are currently. So I sell this kind of material also on live shows, for example, I do on Facebook, and I may start doing live shows on Instagram as well. And that's also where I sell some of the higher end rough stones, like these for example. These are already specimens that you can see they have really good windows where you can see they have fantastic colors already inside of the stone, just beautiful yellow, orange, red, purple, blue. And this is the kind of material that I will sell at live shows for a price range of around $10 to $20 per specimen. But it's pretty much guaranteed that every single piece of these will turn out to be a nice quality collector specimen. And that brings us to some of the already finished products we have from our own manufacturing here in our workshop in Dresden in Germany. And these are all pieces that are already available on the website, and this for example is a flawless piece, still very inexpensive. This is currently at a price of €35 on the website, but you can save another 20% on the specimens if you order at least 5 specimens at once. So in the end I will hardly make any money off this because there's so much work going into the process, and that's why for me it only makes sense in general to sell some of the higher end pieces on the website, because below a price point of 30 to 40 euros there's pretty much no profit for me to be made. And here's another specimen which is really nice, which I currently have at a price of 40 euros. This is from the Alimaggio location. The specimen I've been showing earlier is from the smooth skin location. And in Malawi we have probably around 8 different locations that produce higher quality agates. Here's another really spectacular piece with beautiful bright blue and orange colors, but it does have some minor fractures which sometimes are referred to as like kind of snowflakes or hairline fractures. So I feel like it doesn't affect the aesthetics in this piece very much, but still because it has these fractures I will sell it for a lot less compared to if it doesn't have the fractures. Like if it was a perfectly flawless specimen without any fractures, I would probably sell it for around €100, just because it's so rare to get fracture-free specimens from any Malawi locations. And that's also why I sell the fractured pieces so inexpensively, only at a price of like $5 a piece. So it's just really rare to get this kind of high quality pieces all together without any fractures, with beautiful banding, beautiful design in the banding as well. This one's, for example, also from the Alimaggio location, and it's got some beautiful slight parallax in the outside bands, in the yellow surrounding bands, and it's also a floater with a beautiful section of a flow channel that moved the entire center of the stone more towards the left side. This is a specimen that I have currently on the website at a price of €85. Here we have another spectacular piece from the Alimaggio location. This is really large in size already for that location, because the general size we have from this location is from around 1 to 2 inches, and this is already like on the maximum size of the rough stones that have been produced from this location. And if you look really closely at the bottom of the stone, it also has some beautiful dendrites that formed on the agate layers. So this is a really special piece and really pops in colors. So this one's already one of the higher end pieces I graded, and this one's at a price of €110. Then we have another piece which is huge in size compared to the other pieces I have, and this is from an entirely different location which we call the 1970s location. And also these specimens have fantastic colors. A lot of times you will find orange bands in these specimens, but they're also much more affected by fractures. So just because it has these fractures, it's still at a relatively cheap price of only €150. But versus if it didn't have the fractures, if it was like an entirely flawless piece with this orange band swimming in clear chalcedony with this great translucency, this might be a specimen for at least twice as much in an area of like €300 to €400. But since it has the fractures are really one of the factors that reduce the value in my price policy a lot. So you will be able to get really nice colorful pieces with fractures for relatively cheap prices. This is already, I would say, on the higher end, because I feel like the fractures are not disturbing the picture really much, but it's still a much higher quality stone compared to the first specimens I've been showing. And now we are getting into the really high-end pieces. This is an absolutely perfectly piece from the Alimaggio location, banded through the core of the specimen. Just such a beautiful combination of white and this kind of salmon color turning into a yellow, orange, red, and then yellow towards the center again. And just a beautiful specimen, and this one's at a price of €160 on the website. But also for any specimen you will save 20% if you order at least five pieces at once. And this is another piece from an entirely different location. This was a surface found agate, and this is from a location we can't exactly tell on where it's from, but the colors in this specimen are outstanding, because it has this bright blue which is so rich in colors in combination with this really intense red and the flow channels. It is just such a unique specimen for the colors, and the Malawi agates can pretty much develop any color that's possible in any agates, and that's also why they're so sought after, because some locations will only produce very certain colors and therefore not have the variety and are not quite as collectible as the Malawi agates, for example, because here pretty much any color is possible and you can just collect so many different species from the Malawi agates, and still you will have such a big variety of specimens in your collection. This one has a minor fracture on the right hand bottom side. If it did not have the fracture, it would also be much more valuable to me, but still it's a spectacular piece. So this one's currently at a price of €250. I also have two more specimens which are really spectacular, both from the Alimaggio location. These are already in the system and photographed. We just have not put them on the website yet, so stay tuned for these to see them on the website, maybe in one of the coming weeks or more recent months. This one's just got this incredible orange color, which is like setting this beautiful contrast to the darker colored yellow surrounding bands, but also this beautiful floor channel to the right bottom. and yeah, just a spectacular piece from the Alimajo location, as well as this really contrasting piece with this bright yellow in the center that's turning more to an orange and has this beautiful white outline and another bright blue band surrounding the specimen. This is also larger than 2 inches in size, so this is also a really rare quality to get from this certain location. So I hope you learned something about the different colors and also some of the different deposits about Malawi agates in today's video, and also a little bit about the price policy from rough stones to cut stones to higher quality stones, and also what kind of process goes into selling these. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions about them. Leave a comment, share the video, leave a like, leave an abo as well, and I'll see you back next time. Thanks for watching.